Hey everyone, well I'm back with my saw of the day here. This time around I've got my old Stihl 026. Kind of figured I'd do a follow up to the 036 Pro that I had here one of the videos back here, so I thought kind of fitting to bring out the 026. This one I had picked up years ago at a industrial auction. It was a pallet lot of a whole bunch of saws. I think it was like a municipality getting rid of bunch of their saws. This one, for whatever reason, was mostly all taken apart, but all the parts and pieces were in a container next to the saw, except the only thing, the top cover and the air filter covers were missing on it, but everything else was there. All the recoil, side cover, carburetor, everything was there, but everything was apart and off of it. Why? I don't know. I brought it home, cleaned up a couple other saws on that pallet that I had got there, and then started to play around with this one and realized there really was nothing wrong with it. It had excellent compression, just had to be put back together. Pulled the carb apart, cleaned the micro screen in the carb. There was a little bit of schmutz in that. Got that cleaned out, and didn't even put a carb kit in it. Like I say, got it all together, and 3 or 4 pulls and it fired right off. Now I did put a new fuel line and fuel filter in it and a new pulse line on it, but lately it's been acting a little bit bucky because I haven't been using it much, and I think the diaphragm and the carburetor finally is starting to go bad. I'll have to do a carb kit in it at some point, but if I take my time and get it going once it's running, it's fine. If I use it a little more regularly, I don't think it would be an issue, but mostly, like a lot of my saws, it sits a little too long before I get to using it. So back over here, cleaning up some more salvage pine over here. Actually right where I was cutting with the 036 here the other day. Bunch of dirty sandy wood that I shoved back in the bush there. Unfortunately, not much I can do with that. Nice clean one over here. Gonna finish limbing off a few limbs of that, clean that up. There's one further down over there that I dragged out of the snow there that can be bucked up, and then I got one out over here back behind the machine here that I dragged out of the snow. So a little bit more scattered today, the wood, not everything in one bunch like I was here the other day. It was a little handier. I would have had enough if this other stuff wouldn't have been so dirty, but it's covered and coated in sand, and I am not playing with that. So that can stay behind, just cutting out and taking the cleanest and salvaging what I can out of, like I say, what would otherwise be abandoned. So anyways, going to get the saw fired up again, and we're going to get to cutting and get you folks some video of this old 026 doing its thing. Well, that's making a liar out of me. It's running pretty good, idling good, and cutting good here. I limbed out what was left here on this tree here, and it well, seems to be fine, just needs to be run a little more, so that's what we're going to do. This stuff is getting a little bit dirty here. I gotta stop. There's the sand over there, and I'm gonna dull the hell out of my chain here if I go too much further into that log. Unfortunately, that's where some of the nicest firewood is, but all these butt section of the logs here, they're all been coated in sand and dirt like you wouldn't believe. There's a couple of blocks of firewood I can get off the end of that one, but the rest of it I shoved it back in there. It was just coated like stucco on there with sand and dirt. Same with the one up over there, that's just coated full of dirt. So gonna keep on moving on here to other trees here. I got, like I say, one down there I'm gonna cut up and finish cleaning up the top here. There's a few sticks of firewood in it, and then there's another one down over there. So saw is doing good. Pretty pleased with it. The old this little saw has cut a lot of firewood for me actually over the last number of years. I picked it up, like I say, probably about 6 years ago already. Like I say, at a surplus auction, and it's done very, very well for me. Cut a lot of firewood with it. Kind of a little truck saw. Take it around the back of the truck with me and cutting firewood on the cow pasture or wherever there was down trees and stuff. Just I don't know, like the O26s. The MS260s were a little bit more mid-range power, but I don't know, the O26 just felt lighter in the hand somehow. Don't know how or why, they just do. So, but anyways, just like to say thanks once again, everybody, for stopping by and checking out another one of my videos, and we'll see you in the next one. This is where these little saws always excel at. These small jobs here, the stuff that's 6" and under, where you got a lot of limbing and small firewood cleanup to do. It's where they always do their best. Yeah, this kind of cleanup work like this, where you get half a dozen sticks of firewood and want to do some limbing and cleanup, that's where those little saws are always where they shine. I'm sorry, you can brag about your 80C or 90cc saws with 3-foot bars on them for making it easy for limbing, but you can't beat a little 10 or 11 pound saw with a lightweight bar. That's just a standard all steel Stihl bar, but get a lightweight 04 bar or an Oregon speed cut bar on these little 10 pound saws, and I'm sorry for doing this kind of snedding or delimbing chores. You can't beat small saws, whether it's a 346 XP Husqvarna or an 026 Stihl, or well, any of those saws in that family, in that class. Doesn't matter what brand or what. The 50cc saws in the 10-11 pound range rule the roost in this kind of work. They just do.